Welcome, beautiful people. If this is your first time to my channel, my name is Natalie, and this is my channel where I do not have a common theme. It's a bunch of little different things. I have some makeup, I have some personal growth, I have some soap tutorials. Yeah, I'm a manifesting generator, so what can you expect? I have a lot of hobbies. But today's video is going to be about the 6'2" profile of human design, the role model. Wait for it. Hermit. The 6'2" profile. I hope you could see that. Hold on, let me move my hair. This made that. And I dove in head first to human design and have been loving it and have learned so much about myself. And since I am a role model, line 6, I'm here to share my wisdom. And I wasn't going to do this video at first because all the videos that I've watched on human design, and I probably watched them all, have been by people who have studied this for years. And I'm like, who do I think I am, making a video about it? But I will tell you this, I am a 6'2", and nobody knows me better than I do. So I'm here to share the things that I have related to and that have resonated with me, and share them with you, and maybe they will resonate with you as well. So if you are a 6'2" or you know a 6'2" and are interested in hearing what I have to say, then yeah, keep on watching. So 6'2"s, I'll tell you a real life example. I am a critical care nurse. So I have calculated almost every single person I work with, their life path number, and had them take the Myers-Briggs personality test. And now I am doing it with human design. I am that person that, number one, I'm all about personal growth, self-discovery. Now I understand why. And anything that's a tool to help me understand myself better, I'm all for it. And human design has been so on point with everything I have gone through in my life. And it's helped me come to peace with some things, and it's confirmed beliefs I've had and helped me just understand myself better. So yeah, we are the ones that love sharing what we know. And something else that 6'2" are perfectionists, and we hold ourselves to a very high standard, and we hold everyone else to a high standard as well, but especially ourselves. We are very hard on ourselves, and especially in the first phase of our life, the first 30 years, because we're not acting as a line 6 role model, we're acting as a line 3 martyr. And it's like, we know better, and we can be really hard on ourselves about that. But that's what the second phase, being on the roof, is for, to process those experiences and process those lessons and heal from them. So I'm sure if you're watching this video, you already know that line 6 is unique in that it has a 3-phase life. And I don't want to go too much into that because I'm sure you know that, but there is a certain aspect I want to talk about. So like I said, 0 to 28 or 30, you are making mistakes, being a line 3, trial and error, trying a bunch of different things. They can be known to get married and divorced before age 30. I am guilty of that. I was married at 21 and divorced at 26. It's a prime example, 6'2" right here. And, it feels like a completely different life and a completely different person. And that's because it is. And if you would have told me that I would just want to like be at home and read and journal, and I wouldn't have believed you. So I was headed in a path that was not beneficial to me. I was putting my energy into other people, especially men who did not deserve it. And something that's really interesting is because we have free will. Yes, things are destined, but we plan certain things, but we have free will. And you don't go on the roof or become the role model just because you had a certain age. You have to put the work in during the on the roof phase. And not all 6'2s do that. And if they don't go on the roof and kind of retreat from the world to reflect on the first 30 years of their life and the lessons they've learned, they will not end up becoming a role model, and they will also end up projecting being the role model onto someone else, whether it be their spouse or their child. My mom is a 6'2 who did not go on the roof. She had me at 30 actually, and then I was her entire life. And she projected that role model onto me. Like, luckily I'm a 6'2, but we know that we are here to do something extraordinary. And it feels like, and it can still feel like, but I don't know what that is. And we're constantly searching for that and trying to understand why we feel this way. So if you have pressure from a parent to be the role model, especially as a child, when you're not a role model, you're a line 3, that is going to cause a lot of insecurities and a lot of issues. And it definitely did. And I always felt like I had to be the best at everything I did. I graduated third in my class in high school. Like, I had 36 college credits before I graduated high school. And, you know, if you looked at me from the outside, I was this exemplary human. I was this perfect child. I got straight A's. I was taking all AP classes. I worked. I did sports. I was in extracurricular activities. Like, I was on the math team. But when I would leave school, I would go crazy and made a lot of mistakes. I'm just going to say that. I don't want to get into specifics about the mistakes I made, but I made all of them, all the mistakes. I made them. And so, especially as a parent, that's something that can worry the parents of 6'2 children, because they'd be like, this child is going to end up in jail or dead. Things always came very naturally to me, easy to me. I picked up on things. So 6'2s are old souls. So we carry wisdom from our past lives with us. So I believe that's why we have those talents that people come seek the hermit side, and why we can be, as long as we do the work, we can be that role model for other people, because we're visionaries and we understand things on a different level. I'm not saying it's better, it's just different. We can see how things are going to play out. We have been through so much and have taken the time to really understand what we've been through and what lessons we learned from it, and we would grow from those experiences, which a lot of people don't do. All right, let's see. So we can appear standoffish. And I've been told many times, like, oh, I thought you were a bitch when I first met you. Thanks. And especially if you are in the second phase, the on the roof phase, because I don't really want to deal with a lot of people. There's very few people that I want to talk to and interact with. I'm not saying they're non-existent, but it's very few. And I have very little energy to give. I can't give it out like I used to. So we have to conserve our energy, and we don't just give it away freely. Okay, so here's what I wanted to talk about when it comes to the three phases. Like I was saying, I was giving my energy to people that did not deserve it. And I don't know if I ever would have gone on the roof, or it might have just taken me a long time to go on the roof if what happened to me didn't happen. So when I was 29, I severely injured my back on the job. I herniated every disc in my lumbar spine, had multiple surgeries. I get nerve ablations every 6 months. I get trigger point injections every month. I'm in chronic pain, have been since 2014. And that forced me to reevaluate my life. And also, someone who used to be active can't be active anymore. I'm stuck in bed. So what else is there to do, but reflect? And I was reading a book, and it's about the shadow sides of the human design profiles. And it says if someone is not going onto the roof, the universe will physically force them by causing some illness or health issue that forces them to kind of isolate themselves from the rest of the world. And that literally happened when I was 29. Like, that is not a coincidence. I believe that was planned. And yeah, looking back, I see how some of the things that I dealt with grew up caused me to form an anxious attachment style and become codependent on receiving love from outside sources instead of from myself. Those were all lessons that I had to learn. But yeah, okay, so because we are perfectionists, we have a tendency to do everything ourselves because we know that if we do it ourselves, it's going to be done right. Learning to ask for help, to be honest, is something I am still working on. But when I started dealing with chronic pain, I kind of had to put my pride aside because I needed help. And I had to ask for it, and I still do. But I will still push myself past my limits to the point of exhaustion, trying to do everything by myself. So on the Hermit side, so line 2, you're going to have some talent that people seek you out for. And as much as you want to hermit, it is going to force you to interact with other people by sharing this talent. And I just love that concept. It's like I don't know how to explain my feelings about it. I just think, I just really like it. We have this talent, but we're not loud about it. And people see that and seek it out. I think that's a beautiful thing. And we can't explain how we're good at these things. It's just natural to us. The life of a 6-2 is a process of self-discovery and introspection, in particular, the second phase of life. And not only are we striving to be a better person and be that role model, we at the same time are trying to convince ourselves that we are good enough to be that role model. And even though it's like I deep inside, like my intuition knows I am, um, there's just always, those little insecurities there. So then the third phase of life is 50 on, when you kind of reintegrate into the world and share the wisdom that you've learned. I'm sharing, I'm not 50 yet, I just turned 40, but and it's like looking back, oh, maybe that's why I started a YouTube channel, because, and it really is, I had gone through so much and, learning to love myself and learning confidence and setting boundaries and how to not be codependent. And I wanted to share these lessons I learned to help other women who were struggling with the same thing. Speaking of, so one of my channels is the channel of struggle. And my whole life, I'm always dealing with something. And for a time, I'd be like, am I bringing this on myself? But they would be things that I couldn't bring on myself. And when I found out I had the channel of struggle, it made so much sense. And at first I was like, oh, of course I have this fucking shitty ass channel. But then I was like, you know what? If I think about it, it makes complete sense. Because if I have to struggle more than the average person, I'm going to be learning more lessons, growing more from these challenges, from these experiences. So it really is the perfect channel for a 6'2" profile. There's so many things that I thought I was thinking of, I wanted to say on here, and I do have some notes, but now I'm like, I can't think of it all. Think of it. So kind of the overall purpose of the 6'2" profile is to experience, to watch, and then to learn how to live authentically. And, we have a fear of failing, that we won't be that role model. All right, guys, I think that, I guess that's all I am going to share with right now. And I'm going to think of 30 things that I wanted to bring up that I didn't after I stopped filming. But I just wanted to come on here and just talk about my experiences, 6'2", a little bit. If you're a 6'2", let me know in the comments. If you're not, and you do know your profile, let me know. And if you don't, you need to Google human design chart right now and figure out what it is. And then let me know. All right, guys, I'll see you later.